Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is a dark rye bread. Our recipe today is a viewer's request and thank you for sending that in. We've been excited about making this recipe and I've been putting it off for a while, but right now is a perfect time for us to get back in the kitchen and make some fresh homemade bread. So if that interests you, stick around and let's get started. What we'll do first, we'll get our yeast proofing. So I got 2 teaspoonfuls of traditional yeast. You could use a fast rising, and 1 cup of lukewarm water. And I'm going to put the yeast in there, stir it around, and let's let that proof for about 5 minutes. That's all you need to do there. And what I got here is a half a teaspoonful of fennel seed. I'm going to toss it in my bowl because I want to just grind that down a little tiny bit. I got 1 teaspoonful of caraway seeds. I'm going to put that in there. Now what I'm going to do is just grind it a little small bit. Okay, so I'm not necessarily trying to ground it. I just want to infuse those scents and flavors, and that's all I'm going to do there, just like that. So what you need is a nice bowl, with a large bowl with a lid, or if you don't have a lid, just cover it with a piece of parchment paper and of course a nice towel when we get going. I got 2 cups of light rye flour. I'm going to toss that in there, and I got 3 cups of 100% all-purpose whole wheat flour. I'm going to toss in about 2.5 cups, leaving a half a cup to work the dough as we go. We're going to toss in those seeds, caraway seeds and the fennel seeds, 2 tablespoonfuls of dark brown sugar, and 2 teaspoonfuls of sea salt or salt of choice. I'm going to be using 2 tablespoonfuls of cocoa powder. I'm just going to toss that in there. Now we'll toss it all together. So we're just tossing all of these ingredients together just to get them incorporated. Nice. Now if you don't want to make a dark rye bread, just leave out the cocoa powder. That's all you need to do, and it would be a little lighter for you. So now I'm going to tell you what to do next. Now we're going to toss in our proofed yeast, and then we're going to add in 1 more cup of warm water. I'm going to stir the yeast there because we want to get every taste of that yeast, and pour that on in. I'm going to be adding in here 1 tablespoonful of cider vinegar. And this kind of keeps that yeast happy, puts a little bit of acid in there and helps the gluten bond. We're also going to be putting in about 2 tablespoonfuls and a little bit more of butter or margarine. You could use oil if you wish. And now we're going to stir that through. So we're just going to stir that on in. So what you're doing here now, you're going to use your spoon as your hook, and you're going to bring in all the flour around the sides and putting it all together with the liquid in the middle. If you got a KitchenAid, lucky you, and you also could use the hook and stir this around. We're going to be doing that for about 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes stirring, and then about 5 minutes kneading the bread and bringing it into a ball. So that's all you need to do there. This dough smells absolutely amazing, and we got nothing done yet. We just got all the ingredients put in there, but with the warm water and the yeast infusing all of those nice seeds there, that caraway seeds got such a beautiful smell. Also, the vinegar we're using here today, if you got soft water, it helps, I guess, with the gluten in the bread, and it enhances the quality of that bread as it bakes. So that's a little tidbit there. I don't normally use vinegar in my breads, but I guess with this type of flour, that's what at least the elders have told me. So now I'm going to keep mixing this, and then I'll show you what's next. So this is what your dough is going to look like when it starts to come together. Now we're going to dust it with a little bit of that wheat flour, and that'll help bring the stickiness, take the stickiness off, and to bring it together and form it into a ball. I'm going to use my hand there now to start kneading it and folding it in. And of course, using proper hygiene, washing our hands before, during, and after, just really getting that flour and everything off. So that's all you need to do there. You keep bringing the dough off the sides, flipping it over, pulling it inward, and pushing it down. This is called kneading. And now we're going to do this for a little while to bring it together. Then I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm pretty well at the end of getting it all mixed and kneaded together. So this is what your dough is going to look like. Form it into a ball, flip it over, take the flour off the sides because we'll definitely use that. I usually put the sign of cross on my dough, but that's optional for you. So now I'm going to tell you what's next. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to be using my large lid to go over the bowl, as per usual, the videos that I got there for making bread. But if you don't have a lid, put a piece of parchment paper over it, and then take a big towel, because we want to keep the bread warm. Now if you're making it in the summertime, put it in a sunny window. But if you're making it and it's a rainy day and it's not so nice, just make sure you keep it warm like this. Cover it and then let it rest and rise for 30 minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in my oven. I got the light on, and what I'm going to do is set the timer for 30 minutes, and that'll give me a good gauge on when it's ready. I usually keep busy while I'm waiting, so if you wanted to do that, but just the light, when it rises to where we need it, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, our first 30 minutes is up. I'm rising the dough. I'm going to reach for it in the oven. And again, all I did was turn the light on in the oven and put the timer on for 30 minutes. Let's turn that on. And now I'm going to take the towel off and show you what the first stage looks like. Okay, so I'm going to take off my lid. This is what the first stage is going to look like. So what we're going to do now, with my clean hand, I'm going to just fist down the dough like this. So after you've taken and deflated the dough, now you're going to fold in. So as per making it, and you can hear some of that cracking. Of course, if I stop talking, you would probably hear that. But if you hear the cracking in your dough, that's a good thing, because that means the dough is rising and doing well. So that's all you need to do there, and flip it over. Just like that. I'm going to sprinkle just another little bit of that flour over the top. I'm going to put my lid on. If you don't have a lid, no worries. Use your piece of parchment paper. I'm going to put the towel around it again, and I'm going to put it back into my oven for another 30 minutes. So then after, I'm going to show you what to do next. But you can prepare your pans. Just 2 pans is all we need. You could use the pan of choice if you don't want to use a regular bread pan, and I'll show you that next. Okay, our second 30-minute rise is done for our dark rye bread. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. We're going to get them ready for the pans. As you can see, the second rise is even more. So what we're going to do now is cut out small pieces of this dough and put into our pans. And I got them prepped here and just greased around a little with a bit of butter. And if you don't want to use your regular bread pans, you could use whatever pan you wish. Now this is what the dough looks like inside. Isn't that ever lovely? You can even see the caraway seeds and the fennel seeds. So I'm just going to make small pieces as per other videos. You've seen me making bread, and it looks something like this. Just put it down into the pan. So I'm going to do 3 of those small. Just look at the dough there. I just can't get over how beautiful it looks. But I'm just going to do 3 small balls like this for the pans. And then I'm going to do 1 full piece. And, but like I said, if you want to make a round one instead of this way, but this is the way I like making them. And they make lovely sandwiches. And then I'm going to form this one. Just formed into 1 piece like that and then put into the pans. So pretty much all I'm going to do with this now is to cover it with a piece of parchment paper, and then I'm going to cover it with a towel and just let it rest. You could put it back into your oven under the light and let the heat from the light rise that bread a little bit more, and another 30 minutes, and then we're going to start baking it. So I'll show you that when it's done. Our 30 minutes is up now on the rising of the dough in the pans. So this is what it's going to look like. It's not up all the ways over the pan, but when you put it in the oven, it'll come up that much more. So we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and put the timer on for 30 minutes. And we're going to anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes, or depending on your oven. I'll show you what it looks like a little closer, and we'll get to that. So this is what your dough is going to look like when it's risen in the pans before you put it in the oven. So I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. I can't wait. Our dark rye bread is baked. Now I'm going to take it out of the oven and show you what it looks like. Smells absolutely amazing in here. Just look at this delicious bread. I'm going to toss it out now of its pans, and I'm going to put it over here on a cooling rack. I'll toss this one out for you to see. Just look at this delicious crust, and it's just a perfect size. I'm going to put it over here. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. So what I usually do after I take my bread out of the pans, I just glaze it with a little bit of butter or margarine, or you can use even olive oil if you want that. Then I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper over the top and the cloth again and let it rest for a couple of minutes. Now I'm going to show you some of the bread we got made yesterday. Of course, this is my favorite part because I always can't wait to have a taste of what we make. This is a day-old bread here. As you can see, it's nice and soft. The inside is just absolutely beautiful. I'm going to cut off a slice of this. I'm going to make a delicious sandwich. I'm going to show you it hot. After it comes off the cloth, I'm going to cut a piece of that. And I'm just going to show you a little closer what a day-old bread is going to look like. Of course, I know I showed you a little while ago, but just look how nice and soft this bread is. Now after a day, or after it gets to room temperature, I usually put it in a clear bag like this so as I can freeze a loaf for later, because I always want to keep it fresh. And now what I'm going to do here now is cut off a nice piece. I'm going to make a sandwich. Just look how delicious that looks. I'll cut the bread that we just baked as well so that you can see what that looks like. Put that there. Now let's just show you this. Of course I can leave it like this and not show you anything else, but I'm going to show you now what I would do with this delicious dark rye bread. I'll make myself a nice sandwich. Of course today I'm just going to be making a vegetable sandwich, which would be with a bit of tomato, a bit of lettuce, some cucumber. Just gonna fold it over like this, cut it down, show you the inside. Just look. And what I'm going to do as well is pop on there a pickle and an onion. So now that's one way that I would serve this sandwich. Now I'm going to show you a couple of more ways. And if we were going to have company in and we wanted to serve this as an appetizer, I would cut off just a couple of pieces like this and in little small chunks. And over here to the side I got some delicious olive oil, butter olive oil. This is for dipping, and some dark balsamic vinegar. And then I'll pour in some of that and put this to the side with a couple of toothpicks and let them serve themselves. Now how good is that? So now what I'm going to do is cut one of the hot loaves. And I know your mom might have told you, no, you can't cut the hot bread, but here in our house we always do because our family loves it. So come in a little closer and I'm going to show you that. It's still nice and warm. It smells amazing in here. And I've been able to keep Raymond's fingers from taking any of the bread. Not too bad, eh?
No.
Now just look at this delicious bread. How soft it is now that it's been resting. And what we'll do is put a small amount of butter over it and a little bit of homemade strawberry jam. Now how good is that? Too good to eat.
Okay, pass it over.
I know it was going to happen.
Oh yeah, big time.
So I hope you enjoyed this episode today of Dark Rye Bread. I know we enjoyed bringing it to you, and I thank the viewers for requesting it. And I've been trying, like I was saying, to get to our recipe and to post it for you. As much as I love having the hot bread, I've been waiting to have a little taste of the oil and the balsamic vinegar. I was going to say vegetable oil then, but olive oil and the balsamic vinegar. And with this type of bread, all of those flavors, the caraway seeds, the fennel seeds, absolutely delicious. 2 thumbs up by Bonita's Kitchen. And of course I can't wait to get to making myself a pot of nice tea to have with this, and I'm sure Raymond as well, because he's after having a few tastes of his bread there now. If you want a copy of this recipe, I'm going to post it under this link to our YouTube video, and as well we'll share it with you on our website www.bonitaskitchen.com, and you can also visit us on our Facebook page. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for joining us here today. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to do so before you leave to catch all of our videos. Keep safe. Thank you once again for joining us. And from our kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary.
I knew you were coming for a taste.
Bonita's Kitchen to yours.
Definitely.
Bonita's Kitchen.